Hey everybody, it's me, Jose Segura, your SMEA president. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. In this episode of Fireside Chat, we're going to focus on an MOU that we signed just today with the school district. So an MOU is a memorandum of understanding. Now, a lot of you have asked a lot of good questions. You can go back to the FAQs that's attached to this email and previous communications and kind of take a look at a lot of the things that folks are asking. And really what folks want to know is, well, what are the rails, right? What are the rails in which we're kind of all tracking together with during this time of school closure and flexible distance learning. And so what we attempted to do in this MOU is to provide some rails, not just for us, for teachers and for certificated folks, but also for management. So we're all kind of working under the same rules and the same guidelines, and we're all moving together using on the same rails, right? Okay, so the MOU is in place. We worked collaboratively with the district to come up with this, so this is a joint effort. And some of the highlights of this that I want to kind of point out are: one, no members required to report to any school site during the school closure. So for no reason are you going to be required to report to your school site while schools are closed. If you're volunteering to do things like help with lunches and pass out supplies and stuff, that's completely on your own. That's outside the contract, but no one is required to hand out school lunches. All right, the next thing is unit members will continue to receive their full compensation and benefits during the school closure. And this has been a question we've been asked several times. We know that legislation has already put forth language that continues to provide monies to districts so that they can continue to pay their staff. And so we are all will continue to have our full benefits and salary throughout the school year. So no worries about that. The next thing is video. So there's been a lot of questions about using video conferencing or multimedia platforms to communicate with staff or students. In our MOU, it states that members will not be required to use live video as a form of communication with staff or students. Audio only or recorded video may be used. And so all multimedia platforms that are out there, whether it's Zoom or Google Hangout or Skype, they all have both audio and video capabilities, and you can mute either one at any time. And so even if you do use a multimedia platform like Zoom or Google Hangout, you can mute the video portion of that so that you're only sharing the audio portion. And I really recommend too that when you are in group conversations, whether it's staff meetings or PLCs or grade level, that if you're not the one who's speaking, then you mute yourself so that none of the audio coming from your end of that group meeting is broadcast to everybody else, and that you only unmute when it's your turn to participate in the conversation, or you have a question, or you want to contribute to what's going on. And so that's another item in here. Let's see, let's go on to, here's a big change for a bunch of us, right? So in this agreement, we do redefine the length of the school day. So the agreement is that the official school day will be 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for all members, regardless of what site you work at or what your job classification is. So all SMEA members, your work day will be 8 to 2:30 during the school closure. And so that's really important for us. I know that's a little bit different, especially for like our junior high folks, but it really kind of, again, puts some rails on this so that we know when our day ends and when our day begins. If your site wants to do a staff meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, your principal wants to set that up, then that's okay to do. Now, does that mean you're contacting kids at 8 o'clock in the morning every day? No. It just means that's when you can expect your workday to begin. If district wants to contact you, if your administrator wants to contact you, call or email you, that's the time that they would be doing that, from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Anything after 2:30 p.m., that's your own time. You're not expected to answer phone calls or respond to emails until the following workday. And so, again, it's a rail that now we can all track on from site to site, from job to job. And then the last thing really is this idea that original content. We've been talking about this, but now it's really here in the agreement that our folks are not going to be required to generate any original content, nor are we going to be required to grade or record scores for students. So we're not collecting work from them and grading that and putting it into some kind of a grade book. We're not being required to do any of that. We really want to focus on to expand engaging with our students via existing district digital platforms, and really want to continue to reach out and to connect with our kids, provide them with an academic experience, but we're not required to create anything new, and we're not required to grade or record. Last on this thing, which is important, is that the district agrees to disinfect all of our workspaces, all of our schools, before schools open back up and we return. And so I know that's important to a lot of folks to make sure that their space has been cleaned properly, and the district is saying in this agreement that that will occur. And so we have this agreement in place. It's good until June 30th, which is essentially the end of this academic year. Chances are we'll be coming back and negotiating a different MOU that will put rails on how we open schools back up. I think I've said this before in the FAQ that I believe that opening a school back up is going to be much more difficult than closing a school after this type of event, and so we will cross that bridge when we come to it. All right. Hey, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. You know, me and the rest of your executive board appreciate all the support we're getting from you, all the wonderful comments, and it's just really been amazing, and we feel that we feel super blessed to have an opportunity to serve all of you and continue to serve all of you. So please, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, you know how to get them to me, and that's about it. Bye, everybody.